Hello everybody and welcome to the first live stream of my channel. Woohoo! We're finally here. And yeah, thanks to everybody who subscribed and helped me get to this position where I am right now so I can finally live stream. I've been waiting for this day for so long. Finally to have 50 subscribers and start live streaming. And yeah, so if you guys don't know what's going on right now, I am playing in an online tournament, which I do almost every weekend. And it's starting in a minute and 12 seconds. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Basically, it's a Swiss rapid tournament. There is 5 rounds. It's 15-0, meaning that there's 15 minutes on the clock for both players. And no time for increments, no bonus. And yeah, excited to see all of you here. And I will see you when the first round starts, I guess. Alright, we have 5 seconds left. Let's see who we are playing. And okay, looks like we're playing a 1273. And we do have the black pieces. And usually I play the Caro-Kann, but against e4 I play c6. But I have been saying that I don't want to play the Caro-Kann every single game, and I do want to play other moves as well. So if he does go for e4, maybe I'll play the French defense. Maybe I'm not sure exactly what I'm, or just e5. I don't really know the Sicilian theory, so I'm not gonna go with c5. But you know, I think e5 should be fine. And it does look like he's not online, so I don't know what's up with that. Okay, now he's back online. I don't know what happened there. Maybe his internet just glitched a little bit. We get knight f3. Let's go with knight to c6. Increase the volume a little bit. And maybe he'll play an Italian. Maybe he'll play a Lopez. We'll see what does. Okay, Italian. If I go knight f6, there is this knight g5 fried liver variation. And I don't want to go into that because, you know, it gets kind of uncomfortable sometimes. So I'm just going to go bishop c5. Now the sharpest line here, which I play, is c3. To try and go for d4 and break in the center, which he does fine, actually. Wow, I'm pretty impressed, because usually someone of this rating, like 1200-ish, doesn't really find this type of move. They just like castle, or they develop a knight, which are also good moves, but like I said, this is the main line. This is the sharpest line. Okay, we're met with d3. I would have played d4. That's one of the main lines, but d3 is the second main line. I think it's called like the Gacchino Piano Piasmo variation or something like that. And this is called the Greco attack, I believe. There's a lot of different variations in the Italian, but I'm just gonna go ahead and castle. If the line were d4, and I think take takes and bishop b4 was the move, but we get d3 instead. Let's go ahead and kick the bishop out. Should the bishop take, I can take with the queen and not damage my pawn structure, which would be nice. Let's go d6, try to get this bishop out, and you know, hopefully I can win this, because if I don't, I'm gonna lose a little bit of rating here. Okay, I think bishop e6 is fine, because I do get double pawns, but it is in the center. It helps me push. And if this knight ever moves, then I get an open rook, which looks pretty good for me. We'll see what my opponent does here. He could just not take, or he could go bishop back. That's an That's a fine move actually, because if I take, then queen takes back, and it targets my pawn, and I'm not super comfortable with that. I also have d5 takes. Well, that doesn't quite work because then I get double pawns if the bishop takes. So maybe I defend this pawn and then take with the bishop. That could potentially work. Looks like my opponent is offline again. Not sure what's going on with that, but we'll see what it does. Defend this pawn. Take. Queen takes back. And I also want to get unpinned because right now my knight can't move because it's pinned. He does castle. Now, if I take, then his queen just gets active, so I don't really see any point in doing that. I could go for g5 and try and get this pin out of the way so my knight can actually defend some squares, but I have to calculate a little bit because g5 does allow knight sacrifice. Takes. And how annoying is that? I don't think it's super annoying because I can go rook here and try to escape with my king. So actually that should be fine, even though it kind of weakens my king. I don't think it's gonna weaken it by that much. Okay, and he does go back. He's not gonna really sacrifice anything, which is good. Because if that happened, then I would be, I would be surprised. I think queen e7 and maybe bring this rook and try to go for this pawn break. That looks reasonable. And now if bishop takes, then I don't have to take. I don't have to take with the pawn. I can actually take back with the queen, which looks good for me. Okay, we get rook to e1. I honestly, I kind of want to go bishop g4 and try to get this fork, but it doesn't even work because this bishop defends, and also the rook can just move back at any time. So that's actually a terrible idea. I don't know why I even considered that. Maybe knight d7. Reinforce this pawn so I can finally push over here. That sounds... Well, I still can't push because takes. Can I? E takes d5, bishop takes d5, bishop takes d5. Yeah, I can't push because there's nothing defending my knight. Let's take and go bishop b4. Attack the rook. Ask where it wants to go. Probably just knight c3 here is pretty solid. And if I take, then... I mean, you do get one isolated pawn, but it's not really the end of the world. It's protected. Or if you don't want any isolated pawns, then just knight d2. Or I guess knight b to d2, because this knight could also go there. Rook e2. Okay. I was not expecting that. But, this is fine. Maybe this is more than fine. There is this fork incoming, so I do have to do something about it. Either I move the knight, or I trade the bishop. If I trade bishops, then queen comes in, and d5 is still a threat. So I have to go bishop back. Queen b3, and d5 is the threat here. He takes with the pawn, but now you have doubled isolated pawns. That does not look fun for me. For you, at least. Maybe I bring this rook here and try to maybe push f5, and they can't take because this rook is hanging. That sounds reasonable. We'll see what my opponent does here. We get knight b to d2. I'm assuming defending this pawn. I can take. If knight takes, then this is still fine, but then take and knight just takes back. Oh, but if knight takes, then this pawn is hanging. And then it's also a fork. Sorry, bad arrows. So, actually, I think I'll just take. And if knight doesn't take, if like queen takes or something, then d5. And if knight does take, then this should be a free pawn. And now rook here is forced if you want to defend this pawn. And to make sure the rook can't take on a7, I guess just a6. I want to get this fork in, but this queen is defending. So I'm wondering if there's some sort of way to defend the c2 square, but it doesn't look like there is. So I'm not going to waste any time or get low on time by calculating here, because it looks like I'm just up a pawn for now. So a6 to save the pawn is probably my best bet for now. I also don't have f5 anymore because this rook is protected by the pawn, so my queen actually cannot take. But what is knight c4? Let's see. It can't go here. It can't go here. It can't go here. It can't go here. Why would it just go back? So it must be going to a5. I don't really see the point in going knight to a5. Or maybe it's just defending this rook. Although I don't really see the point of that either. Maybe knight here. Oh, I completely forgot about this. It was a discovered attack on my knight, and I absolutely blanked out and didn't see it. Okay, let's go knight to c6. Reinforce e5 a little bit more, so I could play knight e5 maybe in the future. Queen d2 is obviously looking to bring this rook in. I was really surprised that he took with the pawn and not with the queen, because now he has doubled isolated pawns, and if he took with the queen, first of all, he would have an active queen, and second of all, his pawns would be next to each other, so you could, for example, push one and defend it. But he didn't do that. I'm thinking just knight d5. If takes, then takes. I don't think bishop should take, because then my queen could take and then get an active queen and attack the spawn, which looks good for me. Because, again, his pawn structure is really weak, and I'm up a pawn. Which pawn am I up? It's 3 for 3 on the king side, which both of the kings are on. And it's 4 against 2. Wait, 4 against... Oh, there's a pawn here, right? 4 against 3 here, and then 4 against 2 there. So he's up a pawn here, I'm up 2 pawns here, so if you merge them together, I'm up 1 pawn. I don't know what he's thinking about. He's probably thinking about if he should take or not. Because if he doesn't take, then I'm definitely not gonna take, because then I just fix his pawn structure for him, which is absolutely wild. Why would I do that? So if he doesn't take, then what is he thinking about? He's thinking about f4. Okay. Interesting. Obviously, if I take, I'm opening up my own king. But if I don't take and I go like knight back or something, then takes and I'm still opening up my own king. Well, I guess I could take back with the pawn and have some shelter. More than if I take here, because then this file is just completely open, and after bishop f4, then rook g3 is a real problem. So, on that note, I'm definitely not taking here and just fixing his pawn structure for him. So I think I will go back to g6. If f5, then I kind of just go back and we're just in the same position we were in a minute ago, like this position, except the pawn's on f5. And if he takes, then I will take with my pawn. And then the pawn's defended, the knight's defended, the pawn's defended. I think that should be relatively solid, at least breaking. These two pieces shouldn't be able to break in against all of these reinforcements. And I could even move the king up and bring the rook in if I really need to. And the queen f6, defending these squares, you know, pretty solid. We'll see what my opponent does here. Okay, let's go for f5. I think knight e5. I mean, I don't really have a lot of other options. Knight f4 would just open up the file. Same with knight here, and going back doesn't really make sense. We get rook f1, which pretty obviously looks for f6. But I don't think there's anything wrong with f6. I mean, f6, I can just go queen up, right? Is there any problem with that? Maybe there is, because this pawn is not reinforced by the queen anymore, so if this pawn ever needs to move, then it's just hanging. So maybe I should play f6 myself to reinforce this pawn more. And again, he doesn't have a light squared bishop, so he can't really enter on these weak light squares. I mean, his queen can get in, but that's the only piece that can. And after going king g7, he can't even enter here because my knight covers. And if knight takes, then I can take back. Well, I guess the bishop could take. That might be annoying. If the bishop takes and I have to take back, there would be no defender for g6. So if the queen decides to come over this way, I think queen g7 would make more sense. Because first of all, I can't go here because that trade would just benefit me. After king g7, I just win the pawn. I think. I'm not exactly sure yet, but we'll see how it goes. Defender. Okay, we get h4. I obviously don't want to take because that just opens up the g file. Sanjna says hi in the chat. Hi. Welcome to the first live stream of my channel. Thank you so much for watching. And let me see what I'm gonna do here. Rook b d8. What if I just completely ignore this pawn? Like, what if I'm just like, I don't care if you take, I'm gonna take back. Well, but then f6. But still, I can still like ignore him with. Yeah, I'm gonna go here. If the knight takes now, I think pawn takes this way. Should just be good. Because it's a discovered attack on the queen. Queen here, again just queen g7 to defend and solidify. That should look good for me. Okay, we get queen d2. As I was expecting, trying to get over here. Question is, do I go queen g7 now? Or later? Queen g7, queen h5, takes. It looks a little bit scary, but on the same time, there's no real attack. Because, I mean, I feel like my pieces are positioned well enough to kind of, if I ever need to, I could just scooch things over and kind of defend properly. We'll see what happens. Let's see if anybody else has won yet. I don't think. Oh, you guys can't see my screen right now. Can you? I don't think you can, but it looks like 5 people have won already, which means 5 people have lost, obviously. And there are 10 games there's 4 games going on, including 8 people, and then 3 people joined late. So that's how there's 21 people currently. Wow. Alright, my opponent is thinking for a while, which is good for me because I'm down on time because I'm talking and I'm explaining things as I go. Obviously this pawn isn't free because oh wait, rook g3 isn't possible. Wait, what? Because rook g3 would pin the queen to my king, but the pawn is gonna defend, so. Huh? Is this a trap? There could be a trap here, hold on. There could be a trap, like maybe like g3. Ah yes, to win back the pawn. There might be a trap here. I don't think it might not be wise to take because then I open up my own file with the queen and king lined up. So instead I'm gonna go knight d4 and target these 2 pieces. And if he really wants to defend this pawn, queen d1 is forced, but his rook also defends it. So I guess you don't need to defend it twice. But I mean, where else can you go? This is defended, this is defended. You know, this is defended. This is defended. Like this is here, here, here. There's not a lot of good options. Queen h5 is like the only aggressive option I see here. But even that, like, takes. What's the big threat? Rook here? I don't see any threats still. Right? When you think about it, it looks kind of scary. But when you really think about it, it doesn't look scary. We do get queen h5. So the big question is now, how scary do I think it is? If takes, I'm definitely taking with this pawn. And if takes here, I'm taking back. Rook. That's still fine. Like, my queen already defend these squares. So, there is no quote-unquote real threat. And I kind of want this knight to make a decision of either moving back or taking me. Like, quick, do it already. So, I'm going to try to force the decision. If he takes, I'm obviously taking this way. Because I don't want the f6 pawn to push. And if he takes here, again, I'm taking with the pawn that's not the f pawn, because I want this f5 and f6 pawns locked so that they can't move. Okay, he does take the knight. Let's take back with the pawn, as I mentioned. We are equal on time now, which is amusing, considering that I was down on time because I was talking in the middle there. We get rook f2 f2, or sorry, just rook to f2. I don't know why I said rook f2 f2. This knight has a good outpost square, but I can't really move it anywhere because all of his pieces are defending. I'm wondering if my rooks can be a bit more useful somehow. Maybe I just go c5, c4, try to make something happen over here, or a5, a4. But I mean, this pawn is already so behind, it's not doing anything. I think we should make it do something. And also defend this knight again. Which, you know, is always good. You always want to defend pieces as many times as you can. Well, usually. Not always. I don't know why my opponent is thinking for so long, because again, there's no increment. So if you get to like 30 seconds or something, you might be screwed. Of course I can't take with the queen, and I can't take with the pawn. We will take back with this. And again, queen g6 doesn't work because after takes and king here, I don't see how you defend this pawn. Yeah, rook h3 looks scary, but it actually isn't, because this queen covers all of these squares. There's nothing to be done. And I don't think g4, I should play g4 because of this. Yeah, it doesn't look too good. I do have c4 to try and make something happen over here, which I guess since nothing is happening over here, it looks like he's doing some kind of attacking, but you can't attack with just a queen and a rook. Like, all I need is a queen and a king to defend. I mean, the king is the one you're attacking, so I don't even need to say that. All I need is a queen to defend, and it's completely fine. Like, even now, queen g6 takes. King g7. Yes, you can go rook h7 with the check. And after I take, yes, you can go over here. But that doesn't mean anything, because now the queens are off the board. You have no attack. And I don't even lose the pawn because it's just rook aa. And all of a sudden, it's just, the attack is gone. Like, if you want to keep attacking, you have to somehow bring your rook and your bishop in. I think in this game what happened is that my opponent started attacking too late. Like, they traded off a lot of pieces in the middle. Like here. They traded off too many pieces. And, like, their attack kind of fizzled out, basically. And they're not able to really do that much. That was kind of the problem. By the way, guys, if you are watching right now and you want to know that I'm watching, you should type something in the chat so that I know that. Because, like, a few minutes ago, Sanjno typed hi, and I immediately responded in the actual recording, or I guess live stream. So if you want me to know that you are watching right now, then please do type something. Okay, we get queen to h6. Offering a queen trade, which that really doesn't make sense, because after takes, king g7, rook g6, king f7, I don't see any way forward. Also, can't I just take this pawn right now? Wait, what? Can't I just take the pawn? I think I just take the pawn, because if he takes, I take. Yeah, that's completely fine. And we're up on time as well. So, let's see how this goes. If he takes my queen, I take back. And if he doesn't, then I take. Rook takes. This is completely fine. Wait, also, I just have this fork now. The fork doesn't work because of this. But yeah, I think I can just trade queens. And then, like, king g7. I mean, sure, you have a check, but that doesn't mean anything. I can just go here. And now you have nothing. Right? I can bring my rook down. I can take the pawn. I'm going to have 3 passed pawns pretty soon. Right now, none of them are passed because this pawn is stopping all of them. But that is about to change because I'm not sure what is going on. I can even offer a rook trade here. And he has to accept it, because if he goes here, then I go here. And if he goes back to g6, I move this rook here. So this is just a forced rook trade. The only way you can avoid it is by going rook h6, then rook h8. Again, only way to avoid is rook g6. Then I go rook here. And yeah, this is just game over. There's nothing to be done. let's take back. Sorry, I was checking the chat, so if you're wondering why I didn't immediately take back, that's why. And now we're just up 2 pawns. Let's bring the rook in. All of these pawns are on squares that the bishop can never reach. And even though these pawns are on squares that the bishop can reach, they're all defended. So, no need for anything. Let's start a little check, because why not? And let's just trade rooks. It's currently a time scramble, but I'm still ahead on time. By quite a lot, actually. I have almost a minute, and he has very little time. I'm gonna go here, push my pawns, and yeah, there is just nothing he can do here. He sacks the bishop for the pawn, but unfortunately it doesn't really do anything. And with that, he does lose on time. And even if he didn't lose on time, I have 3 pawns here overwhelming 1 and an extra knight, so I would have won anyway. But yeah, good game to the opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And let's move on to round number 2. Wow, so many people won. 9 people won, so 9 people lost. And then, what, 4 people joined late? Yeah, 4 people joined late. Okay. If you're wondering how to decide who was first, second, third, fourth, even though there's so many people who won, is because this person won against a 1549, this person won against a 1448, this person won against a 1312, this person won against a 1301, this person won against, that's me, 1273. So if you beat a higher rating, then you get a higher point. That's how it works. It looks like we're just in time for round 2. And let's get straight into it. I have the white pieces, so let's go with e4. We're playing another 1200, so hopefully we can also choose out a win out of this game, so that we have 2 out of 2. Let's go with my normal Italian game. I think bishop c5 or knight f6. Actually, a lot of people play h6 too, because they're afraid about the fried liver. If you play bishop c5, there's no way of playing the fried liver because the queen defends. So, h6 is kind of a pointless move. You can still play bishop c5. I mean, I have to go for it, right? My opponent's only 1200. Maybe they don't know the theory. So the theory for the main line is d5, e takes, knight a5 to not let me have time. And then you go into this whole complicated line with knight a5, bishop b5, and a lot of other complicated lines. But he plays, or she plays, bishop c5, which is known as the Traxler. And this is a very nasty line where after I take, you can sacrifice the bishop, and after I take, you can take this knight in, and it gets really nasty. I think I've played it in one of my videos before, but if you want to just avoid the Traxler, you can just take with the bishop, and now this is check, so you don't have time to sack anything. And now you can just move the bishop back, and then now you're just up a pawn, and the king is not really safe. And if you know how to play against this, then you should be good to go. Yeah, we get d6. Let's go. Wait, this is now an actual fork now. Oh wait, no. There's still the problem of sacking. Like whenever your knight leaves, this pawn isn't defended anymore, which is when knight e4 can happen after the bishop sack. So you have to make sure to castle so that this pawn is defended. And now I still can't play here because now my bishop can't see the square anymore. But now we are just up a pawn, and my opponent can't castle, so this should be good for me. Yes, I'm behind in development by a little bit, but it shouldn't really matter in the end. I think even knight here and like try to get the queen. This is a variation. I'm not really sure. I don't think we're in theory right now. It's 9 moves in. Some openings go into like move 20 for theory, but some don't. And this is one of those that if you played a crazy line where, okay, what? My opponent just blundered a bishop? What? Okay, I was gonna say, to finish my thought, if you play one of those crazy lines where, you take with the, going all the way back here, if you take with the knight, and we get the bishop sacrifice, and takes, and knight takes, and here, and the queen comes out, like, it's really complicated theory. I'm gonna make a video on it pretty soon, so if you guys want to check that out, you can. But, yeah, then it gets really crazy and it's really complicated. But in these types of situations, not so much. I mean, I'm not really sure what's happening at all. Now I can just take, and now we're just trading everything down where I'm just up a piece for free. I can even do this. Like, normally you wouldn't give up a bishop for a knight for no reason. But I'm ahead in material so much that it's completely fine. Right, let's go d3, get this bishop out, and even though I'm a few moves behind development, I'm a bishop up already, which really compensates for it. It's not like I'm playing a gambit where I'm down a pawn and I'm behind development, because that's the entire point of a lot of gambits. But in this case, I'm up a full piece. Now that we're finished with development, let's go ahead and target the queen. Also looking for this fork, trying to pick up this pawn if black isn't careful. And yeah, we'll see what my opponent does. Queen e7. I can still play here, but then king c8. That's not how kings move. King b8. King c8, and it doesn't really look like I can take anything or take advantage of anything. So, I will just wait. Bishop g5. That's a skewer. I was gonna say I will just develop my rook, but bishop g5 is a skewer. This should win a rook. And usually there's like a pawn here which can block and attack my bishop or something. But in this case there isn't. The pawn on f7 is long gone all the way over here. Where was it? Long gone right here. So this should just win us a rook. For a bishop, of course. So now we are just up a full rook and a pawn. Very important, the pawn. And now we will just look for queen trades. So for example, if queen here, actually queen here, there's just knight c5 winning a full queen with the fork. But, if my opponent offers a queen trade where I can't win the queen, I will still accept the trade. I want to play knight g5 looking for queen e6 trading, but knight g5 here, check here. I know it looks a little bit sketchy. Yeah, it looks a little bit sketchy, so I think I'm gonna start by opening up the board. If he takes here, then I can gladly bring my rook in and have two open lines. He attacks my queen, so I guess we're gonna move it. And yeah, if he takes, then I can just bring my rook over and have two full lines, blast open the board. I mean, I don't even have to take back here. I can go rook here, and this game is just about over. There's nothing to be done. I can take back here. Like, any move here should be completely winning. Because, I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces that are in the attack, and he doesn't really have any that are defending except this queen. This rook is awkwardly positioned. This knight doesn't really do a whole lot. So, it's just a matter of moves. And I'm trying to see if there is a checkmate. I don't see a checkmate, but I do see... Does this work? Pawn takes... Okay, I don't know if it works or not. But I do know that if I just take this, then this should be over pretty soon. Yeah, I was calculating knight f6 there with the discovered attack on the queen. But the problem was that he could take back and attack my queen too. So, I didn't want to take the risk of does it work or not. Let's go with check. And activate this rook. We'll see where the king goes. And now we take this free knight. And yeah, he should resign here, but I'm okay with him not resigning. I mean, that's completely fine. At the lower levels, you usually don't want to ever resign so that you can, you could look for stalemate or something like that. So, I'm okay with that. I think rook c4 looking for checkmate is probably the best move. Yeah, if you're wondering why I'm taking so long, I'm just trying to find the quickest checkmate. It's not because I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm up a rook, a knight, and a 2 pawns here. So, there's like physically no way that I can lose here. But, I'm trying to see if I can find a checkmate within 2 to 3 moves. Nobody's typing anything in the chat, so if you guys want to, feel free to type something in the chat. Say hello. Let's go rook here. Yeah, I don't quite see how you're gonna defend against this. Because b6, I can take, and I can sack the rook, and then checkmate. Like this. So, not quite sure how it's gonna happen. But, we'll see. Okay. This is just a free pawn. So I will take. And now, that seems kind of unstoppable. And rook d5 doesn't work because my knight defends. And now, I mean, I don't even need to take the pawn, right? Because this is just checkmate and there's no way to defend against it. Unless you sacrifice your rook, which will last you one more move, I guess. But and there we go. With that, we do win round number 2, which the first round lasted almost 30 minutes, which it usually does not ever take. What was the time situation? 4 seconds, 50 minutes, yeah. So it was like, it took 29 minutes for this game. Second round, not so much. Second round, it was only 11 minutes, so I guess we will be looking at other games, which I don't usually do in my tournament videos, but it's not like I can pause a live stream like I do in my videos. So, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these games. Okay, we have a 1700 playing. Wait, how is the 1300 beating the 1700 by 2 pawns? What actually happened here? Caro-Kann. Okay, this is the main line. This is, I don't know what that is. The main line is for you to take, and there's 2 main options, G takes and E takes. And I usually play E takes. And yeah, that's the line. Oh, Alpha Sun says hi. I'm gonna say hi back. How do you spell this again? Alpha Sun. There we go. Okay, let's see what happened this game. Castle, castle. So far, so good. Okay. How did he lose that pawn? Like, this is pretty easy to see that you're gonna lose a pawn there. I'm not sure how he missed that. And then he lost that one too because deflection tactic. Wow. We're doing a live stream, right? Yeah, I am. How did he know that? I guess I told him. Wow, so you're just down 2 pawns? What is Queen C1? That's so passive. You should have like brought your rook in before you do this kind of stuff. Because now your rook is just stuck there. Like, I get that it attacks this pawn, but that's pretty easily defendable. I guess the idea was King G7 here. But then King H7? Question mark? I'm not sure I see any problems with that, but F5 is fine, trying to make sure the rook can't get in. Is he calculating a perpetual? Is he calculating like... Because he's been thinking for a while. Queen takes H6. Does that actually work though? Let's see. Queen takes A6, F takes E4. Queen G5, King here, Queen H6. He goes back, it's a perpetual. King H8, Queen here, King E7, Queen H4, King D7, Queen D4, King here, Queen back. That might actually work. Watching. I'm gonna say thanks. And you should also comment on the live stream because for some reason nobody is doing that except Sanjna. Yeah, sorry about the arrows. I think I became Hikaru for a second. But yeah, there might just be a draw there, and from like he's already down 2 pawns, so I think he should have gone for the draw, but you know, maybe he just missed it. I'm not too sure. I don't know how Shravnik. Oh, did he lose? Oh, I'll pass some loss. Let's look at this game. I mean, we have a lot of time. Elpasem was black. Okay. C6 here to disallow bishop b5 is the best move. But yeah, knight c6. Okay, you didn't play bishop b5 though. You have to go bishop b5 and go for this pawn. And if you try to defend it with like your queen or something, then knight d5. And you try to keep defending and then you get forked all of a sudden. And if you try to defend like this, then takes here. And then computer wants knight f6 and then take here and then you win the rook. So, wow, insane line. But bishop c4. This will still draw. Oh. Queen b7. Yikes. Yikes. Okay, bishop b5 here is just crushing. Because here and it's checkmate, so you have to sack the queen. That's crazy. Oh my god. Wow, that's crazy. What? Oh, it's pinned. Okay. Yeah, that was a sad game. Lots of blunders. Lots and lots of blunders. I can see why. Yeah, you played pretty well and then made a few blunders and lost. I'm gonna go get some water really quickly, so be right back. All right, I am back. Put something in the chat, you guys. Come on. Why is it so empty? We have 5 people watching now. All this time it was only 4. So, I don't know who just joined, but if you type in the chat then maybe I will. But you know, it's fine if you don't. I get that. Stay anonymous. That's fine. We have 23 people now. Wow. There's only one ongoing game right now, which is a 1700 versus 1200. And somehow the 1200 is winning. I don't know what is going on. This is the second game that we have that. We got a Sicilian. What is this, Nidor? Not Nidorf. I don't know a lot of Sicilian variation. Don't know what variation this is. 7 people watching. I mean, it's the only game left, so I can understand. Hold on. Yeah, that's what I said too. How was he? Okay, how was he losing? It was completely drawish. Until here. He lost the pawn? Why would you go here? Well, okay, yeah, I don't really get. I see why you lost the pawn. My parents said I can comment after. Okay, haha. Yeah, I'm gonna say no worries because I mean I wanted people to comment so that I could know who was watching, but you know, if you don't want to comment, I get that. All right, let's keep going, or you're not allowed to comment, I guess. E3. So that's how you lost the pawn. Okay, well now it's just a king and pawn endgame, and it looks pretty drawish. Even though the fact that Unearthed is losing is further proof that E equals M squared times TP C squared. What? That? Make it simple for the little kids. There is this B5 move, but I think actually wait no. The 1200 here, Neon 17 might actually be winning because you know there's a tactic where after this King B5, the black king has to stay here to make sure the white pawn doesn't become a runaway pawn, and then in that time the king can run over and win. So there might be a tactic here. Yeah, Neons might actually be winning here. It doesn't really matter if you push or not. Yeah. What happened to the other game, by the way? The one that... Wait, he won? How did he win? What? But he was completely losing. Rook h4? Oh my god, why? Why King f8? Oh no. I mean, here it's just Queen e5. Yes, you can take, but then Queen comes in and everything is defended. And there's no Rook g4 because Pawn can take. And this is just winning. But King f8, oh no. Queen g5 only move to win here because it's the only check. Obviously not counting, you know, these checks. And then yeah, Rook d1, Queen e3. Wow. That's crazy. It's crazy how you can like be winning and then still lose. Chess is wild. Yeah, wait, why did you go a5? I think you should have gone b5, made a pass pawn here, and then basically lure the king into taking it while your king runs and takes the pawns here. That's... yeah. That's what's happening in the chat as well, I think. King c7. Yeah, now just b5. Now actually just b5. And the king can't even run because then here you have to go back. a7 here and just move the king, takes, go, 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 and there's no stopping it. Or just run away immediately. But the problem with that is that if the king gets in and somehow takes these pawns before Neon takes these ones, then he could also have a promotion. So I think it would have been better to eliminate it so it was 1-0, not 2-1. But why does the world smell of potatoes when it is a potato? Why is 1 + 1 2? Why does chess exist? Why is Alonso bring out? Why is Neon? What? Yeah, I'm gonna say thanks for watching to help us some. Yeah, this should be winning because Black still has a long way to go, and now h4, yeah, h3, and Black is not fast enough. You queen in time, just queen a1, put the queen in front of the pawn, yeah, and now just bring the king and then win. So we should be playing the third round soon. There's nothing Black can do. It's just too slow. It was a little bit risky because if he was like a move off or 2 moves off, it could have been bad. But it did get the job done. And dang, 12 people watching now. Wow. Queen b3. Cut the king off. Queen b3. That's fine. Oh wait, that's actually even smarter because you force the king over and then you checkmate immediately. That was actually smart. Wow. Big rating change. Anyways, with that, the second game, or not second game, sorry, the last game of the second round is over. Let's move on to the third round. "35 seconds left. Alright, next round is starting in 1 second. Okay, here we are. Third round. Let's go and play e4. Knight f3. And we're playing a Sicilian. Oh, I didn't even check who I was playing. I'm playing the 1700 person. Okay, wow. That's why they're playing a Sicilian, because if you're 11, 12, 1300, then you could have learned the opening, but you might not know a lot of theory because you're not that high rated. But I get why my opponent's playing the Sicilian now. Let's go bishop f4. e1. Queen e2. Probably, oh, I should have gone queen d2, actually. So I can go bishop h6. I should have gone queen d2, yeah. I guess I should take and then go bishop b5. This knight can't move, however, because my queen can just take, and immediately there goes that idea. bishop e6, immediately making sure the knight can move because the bishop's in the way. I can go knight here. Takes. That looks fine. Yeah, let's do that. If knight here, think queen d2. Or that. Then I take on c3. Takes back. I should probably just bring my rook into play now. Or I could take and then go bishop here to try and weaken the dark squares a little bit. You know what? Let's do that. I like the idea of weakening the dark squares around the king. Because when you have a V-encaded bishop, you usually want to keep it if your king is castled on that side as well. Just a general rule of thumb. Alright, let's trade it off. My bishop was a little more active, so that may not have been the most accurate move, but it is what it is. And this bishop can't move anymore, which I like. I want to try and get my knight here on f4 so that I can attack it. Doesn't look like that can happen anytime soon. I mean, I'm gonna have to spend a whole bunch of moves on it, so I would rather just develop my rook and see what we can do. I got a message. You're cooked. Yeah, I know, right? I'm playing the 1700. Hopefully I can actually win, though. Oh. If I move the knight, then bishop a2. Well, no, bishop a2 I have b3, and the bishop might get trapped. So maybe not actually. Maybe I actually have a chance. That might work. I hope it works. If it doesn't work, I would be in trouble. For a second there, I thought this actually worked. Nice fork, but there is a queen. So, I can't just make the queen disappear. I'm wondering what that move does. I don't really know. Maybe I can reinforce the d6 square with my queen? If that's possible. I still believe that the a2 pawn is poisoned. Meaning that if you ever take, then b3 should trap the bishop. That's the hope that I'm going on, because if it doesn't, then that might be a problem. And yeah, so I don't actually need to play b3. I can go queen f4. I think he's just waiting around because he just went rook c8, rook c7. So maybe he's just waiting for me to do something. Now he can't play rook c8 again because this is actually a real threat now. He goes rook d7. Okay. What about knight here now? Because my queen is defending. Is bishop a2 a thing? Probably not, right? I don't see it being a thing. Rook d6. I can go here. Oh, but then I get forked. I guess I should probably take the bishop. We're gonna get a rook trade, I think. If I take, he gets the open file though, so I think I shouldn't take. Yeah, let's go king here. I don't want him to get the open file. Okay, he's putting more pressure on the rook. So now I think I have to defend it again. Or I could have took, but that would just allow him to have the open file, and I don't. But now I think I can take. If queen takes, then I play rook e1 and I also get the open file. That might be good. He does take. We could just go into an endgame. In fact, I think we are going into an endgame because he decides to trade everything off. It's 7 pawns versus 7 pawns. I guess my opponent just wants to play an endgame. Fair play. We're bringing our kings out. Now I don't really want to move my king. Well, I guess I could go to g3 because this square is covered. But at some point, I'm going to have to start pushing my pawns as well. King g5. Maybe try to get in this way? Probably just f5 though, or king f5. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to start pushing the pawn now. If king g5, king g5 could have been interesting after here takes, and I chase the pawn chain down, but he doesn't go for it. Maybe c3. Well, it's not ideal though, because I do have an isolated pawn. If he takes. If he doesn't take, we get h6. Alright. Probably c4. I don't think I should, like, invite an isolated pawn myself. If he makes me get it, then fine. Fair play. But I don't think I should, like, invite it. I think we're both just making waiting moves because our kings are in the perfect position. And if that's the case, then I guess h3 is one of my waiting moves. I think he has more waiting moves than me, though. Because he can play a4 and f6. Well, not quite. I have a3, I have b3, probably b4 as well. I do have some waiting moves. He's gonna make a break. Yes, I defend. The problem is he always has this waiting move. Even if a bunch of stuff happens here that isn't ideal, he has one extra, which I do not. And that does not look like a lot of fun for me. He does take. Yeah, I'm gonna run out of waiting moves. a5, a4, and then f6. I'm one move short. That is a bummer. He also has f5. Oh, he goes for f5. Interesting. But now I take and I play king g3. And how do you make any progress now? Because you can never invade here because my d3 pawn controls it. I see some new viewers join, so if you want to type in the chat, feel free, because there hasn't been a lot of activity today. I don't want to go f3 because if checked, then I have to move my king back. But I mean, what other options do I have? King here, then check, take here. King f3, h4 though. King g2 here, and then the king gets in. I think I'm losing. And if h4, then probably just takes, king here, and then he gets to take my pawn. Take here, and then yeah, I'm just not fast enough. Pawn push here, d2, c5, d1, c6. I'm 2 moves too slow. Dang. Turns out I am in a losing endgame. Yeah, h4. Oh, if I go king f2, then here and I have to give up either this square or that square. But if I go king g2 and he goes king f4, then now I can go king here, and all of a sudden he has to give up something. That was actually a crucial moment, I think, because if it was the same position but it was my turn, which is what it would have been if in this position I would have played here, and then this, then I would have been Zugzwalt. But now I can go back here, and if king here, I just go back. And I am down on time a little bit, but I have 7 minutes, so I should be able to draw this, I think. Let me know in the chat if you think I should be able to draw this, win this, lose this. It's probably either lose this or draw this. I don't think I can win this. Because my king is more in a defending position and his is attacking position. So either I can defend properly and get a draw, or I can't defend and I lose. So I don't think it's a realistic chance that I can draw. But maybe, you never know. King e5. Okay, again, I don't want to make the mistake of going king f2 because then here and I'm in a tough position again. So maybe like king f1. He can never invade like anywhere here. Even here is completely blocked off. So if he wants to come in with king f4, then I always have king f2 ready. I think is the idea here. Number of people watching keeps changing. Like I keep see it going 3 and then 4 and then 2 and then 3 again and then once it was even 5 and like it keeps changing. King f4, king f2. Any other move? Just any other move. So yeah, I think I should be able to draw this. And considering I'm playing someone who's 100, almost 200 points, or like 150 points more than me, I think that's a pretty good result. Unless he goes for some pawn break, which would be absolutely insane, because then I can just take, and that would probably even be winning for me. So, I think I'm probably just winning. Okay, now we have 6 people. What is going on? Honestly, I have no clue. Okay, that is a 3-fold repetition. So with that, we do in fact draw the 1700. So we have 2.5 points. My opponent still has more points than me because of this thing, tiebreak, which means he's won against higher rated opponents. So he or she has won against 1300 and a 1300, and I've only won against 1200 and another 1200. So that's why he or she is more than me. And obviously, Elon and Shravinek have 3 points, so they're in first and second place, which is what that means. I'm gonna go get some water again. My throat is getting sore from commentating, and I will see you guys after that. Alright, I am back, and let's see what's going on in the third round. I'm gonna talk a little bit less because my throat is starting to hurt, but I will still be commentating. Okay, someone commented, we are basically same rating. Who is that? Wait, who's the same rating as me? I'm 1568. Was it the person I just played? I mean, the person I just played is 1703, so it's probably not them. But yeah, if you're watching, then what's your username on Leechus? I'm wondering. Please tell me in the chat again. I'm typing it in the live stream chat. I'm not playing in tourney. Oh, well, what's your name then? Are you in SMC? Swarback. Do I know you? Are you in SMC? I'm not sure. I know you. Please elaborate. Let's go back to the game. Let's see what's happening here. We have Alpasum versus King Kong, which is almost 1400 versus 1500. It looks like King Kong is up a rook for a bishop, but this might be a draw. I don't know if it's a win or a draw. So far, so good. It's just a normal queen spawn opening. Oh, and then you got skewered. Yeah, that was a unfortunate skewer. Then you want a pawn. Oh, and then you lost it right back. Well, not right back, after like 15, 20 moves. It got really scary for you. Almost got checkmated, but luckily at this one king move. Yeah, I don't think Elpasum should have traded, because then he kind of simplified into a possibly losing endgame. Oh, here I think you should have gone king here, trying to chase these pawns, because you can do the solidifying business anytime, but you can't move with the king anytime, because the king comes in and now this is not possible. But you should still be winning. I don't think it's a draw. Sometimes rook versus bishop is a draw, but sometimes it isn't. So I'm not super sure. Let's see if our friend responded here. He said nah. Does that mean I don't know you? Okay, a lot of stuff happened. A pawn got traded and then rook d1. I think just because you have a passed pawn here, the bishop is gonna have to sacrifice itself and then you're gonna win. But if you didn't have this passed pawn, like it's 2-on-1, you have to trade and like sacrifice your rook or something, and it's probably gonna be a draw. But just because you have this passed pawn, I think you're gonna win. Black offers a draw though, and I think white's gonna decline it. Honestly, not sure. We'll see what happens. Also, by the way, if you don't have time to watch this entire live stream, then you can come back to this and watch it later on. So it will be just like a video. The only big difference being that you can watch it while I'm basically recording. Also, Sorbeck is What is your rating on Lichess? You said I'm the same rating as you. So, I'm wondering. Okay, it looks like he's thinking about it. He might accept a draw if he thinks that these two pawns are too strong and they might promote, then he might accept the draw. If he thinks that he should promote before, or that it might actually be drawish, then he probably isn't going to accept it. I would go rook e2 and try to push. If he blocks you, then probably king c5, king d6. And yeah, it's not possible right now, but eventually it will be, right? You should probably go to long way, bring the king over like this. Maybe that will work. Not really sure. But, you know, it is a kind of complicated position. He's taking his time here. He has less time than Elpasem now. Let's look at some other games. What else is happening? We have Drew versus Nishiam. Okay, it looks like Drew is up 2 pawns but is in time trouble. Wait, is there a threefold? Wait, why would you threefold? He's about to flag. If you go here, then it's a threefold, but he's about to flag. Like, you shouldn't threefold. We got a Queen's Gambit. And then... So we gotta, like... Black started attacking. The queens didn't go off the board, though. And then... He started checking. Yeah, he doesn't want the threefold because he knows that he's gonna win on time. So... Why would you threefold when you can win on time? Queen c1. I mean, it doesn't even matter if you could even trade the queens here and still be fine. Even though you're down 2 pawns, he has 8 seconds with no increment. So, wow, a lot of discussion going on in the chat, not check. What happened to the other game? Okay, he declined the draw. Why would you just give up the pawn? Hey, why did he do that? King b2? King b2 is better. Because then you can promote to a1 with your king still defending. And also if you push a2, then you can hide on a1 if you really need to. If like the rook checks you. So I think king b2 would be better. But, you know, we'll see. I'm really not sure why he hung a pawn there. Maybe he thought that since the pawn was gone, this pawn could promote? Not super sure. Kind of just going between games. Whoa, did the other game end? What happened? Which game was it? Where is the game? It's this one. Did he flag? He flagged. Oh no. Well, that was expected to happen, but still. Okay, well, this is the only game remaining now. I'm gonna say hi, Vibe, because I haven't seen him in a while. Maybe he's watching the live stream. Vibe, if you're watching the live stream, please comment. Good dot. I think that was draw. Yeah. What's happening? Oh yeah, this was the Queen's Gambit type of setup. What? Oh, he had to sack the rook. Why didn't he go here? And then like up? I guess he couldn't. Yeah, well now this is just winning. King f7 is unnecessary. You could have just pushed this pawn. Here, here, and then go king g7. King f7 was unnecessary. But yeah, this still works. You have 50 seconds on the clock, but it's enough. All you have to do is queen, not blunder it. No, I'm just kidding. He won't blunder it. And then you should go queen here to make the box smaller. But you can do it this way too. Queen e6. Just do the knight opposition. Here. Here. If king here, you can't do the knight opposition, so you should probably just move the king, I guess. Yeah. Don't overcomplicate. Here. Or that. I think you're making it too complicated. Like, you should just put the king in the corner and then let the queen do the job. Okay, now just go queen b5. Cut the king off. And then after king here, you should bring the king and then checkmate. This is just taking too long. You're real lucky that wasn't stalemate. Real lucky. There we go. Yeah, now this is just checkmate. Alright, with that, all of the games do finish in round number 3. And we have 2.5 points, putting us in 4th place. I'm not mad about the last game, though, because I knew I was playing a 1700, so getting a win would be pretty difficult. But yeah, I will see you guys in the 4th round. Alright, 4th round. I am playing King Kong. Okay. We're both 1500s, about the same rating. Let's play the Queen's Gambit. One sec. Okay, there we go. He does play the Queen's Gambit. I will play my Slav defense. Basically, this is the Slav defense. You can't accept the Gambit. I mean, you can, but it's pretty risky because the point is to control the center and get the pawn back. And if you try holding on to it with like b5, then a4 is the point. So most people play a decline variation, which is e6. But if you play e6, which I'm going to now, but if you play e6 on move 2, the problem is that it blocks in your light squared bishop, so it's basically stuck in jail for the entire game. So I like to play a Slav defense, which is c6, which is basically the same thing, but instead of blocking the light squared bishop, you defend it like this, kind of like the Caro-Kann. Maybe that's why I like it. Who knows? Haha. And then you can still bring the bishop out, and then you play e6 later on, like I did in this game. Yeah, I was just explaining like what the what the Slav defense was, but it looks like we're just developing our pieces. All the bishops got traded off, which is kind of insane. There is no checkmate because my knight defends. I think I'm gonna take on c4 and then play knight b6 to try and get knight d5. And of course I can't take with knight because then this would be checkmate, but I can take with pawn. Let's take with this pawn so that we have 2 pawns in the center. And this looks good for me. I mean, it's good for all of us. For both of us. I'm gonna attack the knight. Again, no checkmate because knight h7 is covered. And let's go rook here. Make sure the king can't castle this way. To be honest, I think he's gonna not castle this way either, because he probably wants his rook on the open file here, so he can start attacking me. So maybe he'll just keep his king in the center. I'm not exactly sure, but you know, we will try. We will like go for some queen c7 and try to get something going. Because leaving your king in the middle of the board is kind of dangerous. So he might go for it. He might not. Who knows? e4. Right, fair enough. Wait, do I have queen c1? c1. Because if rook takes, I take back. The only legal move is king e2. And then I take the rook, so I get 2 rooks for a queen. Which is actually benefiting the player with 2 rooks. I think I'm gonna play it. That looks so crazy. He's willing to play this. I mean, he played it almost immediately. So, I can see that he's willing to play it. But, yeah, 2 rooks should be about equal to a queen. And usually it's a little bit better. But, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And I'm not playing like some kind of noob or anything. I am playing someone who is my rating. So, I do have to be like careful and everything. But, 2 rooks should be better than a queen. He's trying to like trap my rook somehow. But I don't think it quite works. Because they can escape out this way. And if g4... Wow, arrow terrible again. Then, yeah, rook g5. This should be okay. I don't think my rook is getting trapped. And if anything, if somehow something happens, then rook g6 is always an available option. He defends with the knight. That looks kind of sketchy. I'm not sure. h5 doesn't work because of f4. And then I move back and I lose the pawn. Maybe bring the rook out this way. Again, I need to have this g6 square open for my rook. Or maybe f6? Wait, no, that would just trap my rook then. Yeah, I'm gonna go here. Hopefully my rook doesn't get trapped. f4. Let's see. Let's calculate this. Rook g6. Pawn. Takes. Takes. And then I can move to g5, I think. Gotta be honest, not looking the best for me. King f3, wow. He's really just trying to trap my rook. That's all he's doing. I might have to sacrifice a pawn so that I can get an escape square. Because if I get it on h6, then I can always go back. But here, takes. Oh, if takes, I have all of these squares. Okay, thank God. I started getting concerned there. I did not realize that f5 doesn't even work because after takes, then my rook is open to a whole new realm of possibilities. Actually, since I just went knight here, only this one square possibility. Alright. Whew, that was lucky. If not for that knight maneuver so I can get my rook over, that would have been pretty darn scary. I still can't come in with the rook in any of these squares though, because the knight and the queen cover everything pretty well. Knight c4 doesn't work because queen takes. maybe I defend the pawn? He's also attacking this pawn. So I should probably defend that one. Everything looks defended right now. This is defended, this is defended, this is defended, this is defended. Only thing that's not defended is like this rook. But I don't see any way of him attacking that. And these pawns, of course, but you can't like directly attack those either, because the knight's there. We'll see what he plays. I said I'm not going to talk as much, and then I started talking a bunch. Okay, he's going for a5 so that when my knight moves, he can take this b7 pawn. And that does not look pleasant for me, so I'm thinking about a5 myself. But then this knight has to be constantly defended by the rook, which is annoying. But then again, I don't really see a lot of other options. So let's go with a5. I think this is okay. Oh, but queen b5. Queen b5 might be a problem. That might be a real problem. Find it, but queen b5. Dang it, he does find it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Knight c4 looks interesting, so maybe I can get this pawn. I mean, I don't really have a lot of other options. Oh, but you can even take this guy. See that? Wow, I completely missed knight d5. And now this fork is incoming. This pawn is hanging. That's crazy. I did not see that at all. If I go here, I'm gonna get attacked. Wow. I completely missed that. Completely missed that. Let's see what my opponent does here. He does take the pawn. Now my rook is hanging. I don't have a whole lot of squares to go to. Actually, I think this might be the only square. I could also move my other rook there, but then that just walks into a fork. Not to mention queen e7, king g8. f6 looks pretty scary. Or even knight f6 to sacrifice and open up the position. That could actually work. I don't know if it works or not. But this is not looking the best. The only good thing is that we're both about equal on the time situation, so I don't have to worry about material and time. It's just material right now. I am down like 30 seconds or something, but that's not a lot of time in rapid chess. If it was bullet or blitz or something, then 30 seconds would be like a huge amount of time. Mainly in bullet, but this is not bullet, so we're fine. We get knight to e3. Looking to trade the knights because now he's just up a bunch of pawns. Man, I really want to take this pawn, but then my rook is not guarded. And I can't take this one because of the queen. What a mess. Got myself into a mess. But if I don't take, then he's gonna take, and now my rooks are not gonna be protected anymore. So I kind of have to take, is the problem. Even though I don't want to. Of course he takes back. What do I do here? Maybe I just attack the queen? I mean, she has no checks left. He could, like, move the queen. Wow, that's actually what he does. To attack the pawn. But now I have rook a attacking the queen and defending the pawn through a, like a, what is this called? An X-ray. Where you attack the piece and you defend the piece through the piece. Because when it moves, then, you know, you're also defending the piece. It's called an X-ray. He moves all the way back. Ooh, I could be really sneaky here. I could play f6, and if he falls for it and he takes, then I have rook e8 winning the queen through a skewer. But if he doesn't fall for it and he plays like e6, then he just got himself a passed pawn. I gotta do it. I mean, I'm down 2 pawns and I'm completely losing. So I have to try it. No, he sees it. Why did he have to see that one? I was gonna go rook d5, but even that doesn't work. Because queen f3. I guess queen f3 I can go here. So let's try it. He's probably gonna play queen f3. And then, like, I don't know, defend the pawn. And even if I sack my rook for a pawn and a queen, I'm still gonna be down. Yeah, and his king is just gonna run and take this pawn, and I can do nothing to stop that. Also, this fork is incoming, so I'm basically forced to move my king in the way. And now I'm actually losing on time as well, so this might not be the best thing ever. Yeah, now he's gonna attack me over there. Oh god. I can defend with the rook. I guess I have to if I don't want to move the king back. But, you know, my entire position is so passive now. What, like rook back and attack the pawn? All I have is one move attacks, but he can simply just defend. And I don't have anything to play for. There's not really anything I can do. He's trying to get it in this way now, which is actually going to win my rook. So I have to move back so that they're defended. Luckily, this isn't checkmate because I can move forward, but that's like the only lucky thing. Everything else is unlucky. Queen f7, king d6. He can literally just push. And I can't stop him. Actually, if he pushes, okay, and he can't take because of the pin, and if he takes here, then I can take and get a skewer. So if he pushes, then actually this might be okay for me. But, of course he doesn't push. He's probably looking for some kind of checkmate. Yeah, that's literally checkmate. And I don't see any way I can stop that. If I go rook here to defend it like this is now checkmate. So, what about king? King here. Queen there, take. Yeah, I'm just gonna lose this game. There's not really anything I can do. He takes the pawn immediately. I thought he would check and then take the pawn. But he takes it immediately. Now we are down a queen and 3 pawns for 2 rooks. So 3 points in material. I don't even know why I'm playing at this point. Now I'm down on time and on material and position. Everything's falling apart. I wonder where I went wrong. We'll check out the analysis after the game to see where I went wrong. Probably when I gave up the queen for the 2 rooks, I was okay. But then when the rook went over here and the knight came in and it got trapped, I think I made a mistake somewhere there. Let's attack the queen because there's nothing else I can do at this point. Let's defend this pawn again through another X-ray. Let's move the king out of the way. Yeah, he's just gonna push his pawns. Attack the queen. Queen f8, king b7. But this game is over. Maybe rook here? Oh wait, queen f8 and I dropped the pawn. Man, I completely missed that. Or just e7 and he promotes. And the only way I stop him is by going. The only way I stop him is by going king here. So I can defend. And I can't even take the pawn here because then queen takes. And I can't actually take because promotion. Wait, why did I go king c? I should have gone king d7. That was actually not smart by me. I should have gone king d7. Yeah, I don't know why I went king c7 instead. But this should just be resignable in a second. I'm just seeing if I can, like, I don't know, flag him maybe? I'm losing on time and material, so super unlikely. But, you know, just seeing. Yeah, now if I take... Wish I went king d7. Why did I not? Let's go here. Maintain the attack on the pawn. Queen c2, king here. Queen here. Or queen c6, I take. And he just like forks me on c7. That's actually a triple fork. 1, 2, 3. Because all my pieces are lined up so that it's really easy to be forked. That's kind of the problem. I don't know why he's taking so long. Maybe he's calculating which variation is the best. Probably just queen c2. King d7. Queen c6. I take. Or that. I see idea. If rook b3, then queen here. And you can sack. Well, I have nothing else to do, so this is what we're doing. Oh, he doesn't go for queen c2. But instead, well, now I'm only down 2 pawns. So it is getting a bit better, I guess. Don't get me wrong, this is still completely losing, but a pawn is a pawn. Like, if I can maybe just, like, get this pawn, then I think I might actually be okay. Wait, what? He's trying to go queen c6, I see that, but And my rooks are connected, so I can't get forked. I can probably just go here and defend my pawn. So, are we just okay now? Did we just come back from a completely losing position? Check? This pawn is still really close to promoting, which is a problem. Check. This takes, and if only this pawn were like not here and like there or something. I can't even do that. Wow. Maybe this? Oh, queen e7. Yeah, now this is pretty much over. I mean, I might be able to get a few checks in. Which way do I want the king to go? I want the king to go this way. But yeah, the king's just gonna come out and hide over here. So I can't really. Maybe rook here. I don't know. I think I'm still gonna lose this. Why is he not going down? Okay, now I'm confused. Wait, why did he not go down? Oh, king d8, rook b8, mate. Wait, king d8, I have rook b8 checkmate. Wait, what? This might actually be a draw. There's no way. If here then I win the queen. Oh wait, but I can't actually take the queen because he promotes a new one. No. But if here then I can keep checking. Wait, I can't keep checking because of this f3 pawn. No way. No way. Sacrifice the queen and then promote a new one. Oh my god. If only this f3 pawn were like here or something. Oh my god. Because of this one pawn, I'm gonna lose. What if I like check him like this though? Do I still lose? Probably. Oh yeah, en passant. I forgot about en passant. If only en passant hadn't been invented. We're making too many if onlys now. Alright, yeah, this game is just about over. I mean, which is better? Do I go... Maybe he pre-moves this. So if I go here, he... Okay, never mind. That was not a... Yeah. Queen g6 here. Is there some way to fork the rook? I mean, there probably is. I'm just lost now. Yeah, queen e7 just controls this square, so I have no more checks. I mean, I'll try to get checks, but he can probably just like go queen b4. And I don't even have anything to play for. Not even a draw. But seriously, that one f3 pawn stopped me from getting a threefold repetition or something like that. I'm also super low on time now. I only have a minute left. Is this the only game going on? There's 2 games. There's one more other than this. I guess I'm just gonna keep checking. Oh, wow. Man, he just sacrifices the queen because he's gonna promote. Okay. Wow. That's insane. Alright, we'll just let him finish it out. This is just checkmate 1. Still? What? Oh my god! This was literally checkmate 1. Wait, how did he stalemate that? Oh my god, I totally did not deserve a draw. This was literally checkmate 1. How did that happen? I totally did not deserve that. How did that happen? Oh my god. Oh, I see something in the chat. Rook b4 was mate on move 52. Hold on a minute. Rook b4. Wait, what? B4 was mate on move 52. I'm on move 52 here. Rook b4 just loses the rook. So I'm not sure. What? Please clarify your comment. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, I'm not on move 52. Was it move 62 or something? I'm not sure. Let me check move 62. Rook b2 or rook b4? Yeah, that still doesn't work because you just lose. Yeah, but here, this checkmate is insane. I don't know how I got a stalemate out of that. Oh, the last game ended. Whose game was it? I don't even know. Anyways, that was a crazy round 4. I totally did not deserve that. Yeah, let's move on to round number 5. But welcome to the stream, Slimothy Timothy. I'm not sure I know you, so yeah, welcome. Alright, let's get started with round 5. It's 1:56 when we finish round 4. That is crazy. We usually finish at like 1:30 or 1:40. It's almost 2 o'clock right now. The rounds have just been really long today. Alright, anyways, next round is starting in 5 seconds. Okay, who are we playing? We're playing Elon. Okay, how many points do we both have? I have 3 and he has 3.5. Okay, great. It should have been. Let's play a Carl Khan. Why not? We haven't played one this entire tournament. It should have been I have 2.5, but then but then he stalemated. This is a theory for the Carl Khan line. I always play this. Knight f3. Okay, h3 something that Elon plays. But usually people play knight f3 and I go bishop g4. And then h3 and then I take. And you have to double your pawns because if you take with queen then you lose this pawn. That's the idea. Let's go bishop b4. Develop the knight. Castle. So far so good. This is all theory. Where to go now? Maybe queen c7. Defend this pawn. Attack this one. I would like to go f6, but I want my knight to be able to take back. And right now my knight cannot take back. So I will not go f6 for now. He castles the same side as me, which is expected because this file is completely open. I would like to go knight here and get my knight on an outpost, so I think we should do that. Queen a4 is possible, but then knight c5, take, should be fine. I can always go a6 and b5 if I ever need to defend my pawn. He goes rook c1. Well, now this is just a good outpost square for my knight. Actually, I probably shouldn't have done that because this bishop is pretty passive and my knight is really active, so he can just trade it off for it right now. But it does attack this pawn, and if he doesn't take, then that would be good for me. He probably should take though, because my knight is active and his is passive. His bishop is passive. Okay, instead he goes bishop g5. I think he's looking for bishop takes, queen takes, so that I have to take back with the pawn. But again, I don't have a problem with that because b5 is fine. So I'm gonna kind of pressure him to make a decision here. Either you take right now, which he does go for, or like kind of move back and then, it doesn't happen. Okay, queen a4. I do have bishop d3, which looks really nice to me because I defend. And this is a good outpost for my pawn and bishop. I mean, bishops don't get outposts. That's not what we call them. I mean, pawns don't get outposts. But you know what I mean. He could sack the rook here for the bishop. And the pawn eventually, because after I take, then like, here. Or he could play that. But instead of responding to his threat, I'm going to do some danger levels and attack the queen. And it looks as if it's almost trapped, but first of all, queen b5 is fine. He can trade off the queens, but he also has queen a5. He does want a queen trade. Okay, sure. I'm fine with that. I do have a little bit of like a majority on this side. Let's attack the rook. And let's move the bishop back. Alright, this time for real I'm gonna talk less because my throat is actually hurting. Knight c2. Let's make a break for it on the queen side. If he takes, I can take back. d5. He wants to get a passed pawn. Well, I also want a passed pawn. So I'm gonna make mine before he makes his. So now we both have passed pawns, assuming he does push, yeah. But he has a protected passed pawn, and I don't like that. So I'm going to make it so that it's not a protected passed pawn. But he's gonna try and keep it a protected passed pawn. And I'm gonna try not to. And he's gonna try to. I think that's my prediction moves. f4, g5, g3. Because he wants to defend the pawn. That's gonna defend the pawn. That's gonna defend the pawn. That's the passed pawn. Or, yeah, that's exactly what happens. Okay. I guess we can trade down. Fine by me. Move the king out of the way so we can get the rook in. This looks nice for both of us, actually, because he can also use these open files. It's not just me. He does fork me, which is a little bit concerning because now I have to lose one of these two pawns. I think I'm gonna check him first though. And now, which pawn would I rather lose? I think I'd lose this pawn because if he takes this, then he has connected passed pawns. And in my opinion, I think that's worse than him just having two passed pawns on different sides of the board. We'll see what Elon does. He goes with d7. Okay, so he doesn't want to take either of the pawns. Here, take I see, and he's gonna promote. That's the idea. If I go here, then he can sacrifice the knight and then promote. And if I just move somewhere randomly, the knight takes. Promotion is still an idea. So what do I do? Rook e7. I guess this is kind of playable. It's it's like a bishop and a pawn for a rook or something. Knight e6. Oh, he's just gonna go knight c6. Whoops. I did not see that. I guess I'm gonna have to sacrifice. How did I not see that? Yeah, now I'm just losing. This is not a good tournament by me. It's probably gonna be 3 out of 5. 2 wins, 2 draws. Like the first 2 games were good. And then it started going downhill. He probably just wants to checkmate. Is there checkmate? Rook f6, king g5, rook g7, king h4. And that's mate. Wow. What if I go here immediately? Then check, and that's immediately checkmate. So how do I stop it? Oh no, do I have to stop rook g7 by putting my rook there? That's annoying, because now I can't even push this pawn and be protected. Oh my god! I completely missed that. Wow, I'm actually playing terrible. Yeah, this game is now pretty much resignable. Oh, man. Yeah, now this is checkmate. Not checkmate. I have one legal move. But yeah, now I'm just down 2 rooks, so there's no point in playing this anymore. Oh man, I do want to see where I went wrong though. What did I do wrong? Oh wait, I thought the analysis was here. Okay. Let me just load everything up. And then we'll see what I did wrong. Okay. We have everything loaded up except for this move for some reason. Now let's see. Yeah, the opening was all fine. I know that. This was fine. In fact, like I was slightly winning in this position. This is a mistake apparently, or an inaccuracy. Still drawish. This was a mistake. What should I have done? I should have played a5 immediately and gone for the pawn break. I was too late. I moved the bishop back and later I played a5. This is still okay apparently, but then a4 was a mistake because I allowed him to get a passed pawn. What I should have done is I should have played bishop g6, and if he pushes now, then I take the knight, and then I take back, and then apparently this pawn is not so scary now because the minor pieces are off the board. Okay, good to know. f6. Let me just check the chat. All right. Yeah, and then, oh, here he blundered apparently. The best move was to go f5 immediately. Because after you gambit a pawn and now you have two passed pawns and there's no way to stop both of them. Apparently this was a mistake, but I should have took this pawn and then brought my rook in like this instead. Okay. Rook 8, king h7 was also a mistake. I should have gone rook f5. Yeah, I should have been more active and tried to like push this pawn. Apparently you can sack the knight and still be winning because d7. Wow. A rook is the best move. That's crazy. Stockfish is like. Then king up. Yeah, this is still winning. But apparently that was the best move. And then yeah, after this, that was a mistake. Trying to defend the pawn. I should have just pushed again. And then allowed this to happen. And then gone here. Yeah, I don't know. It still looks like pretty lost to me. But we'll see what place I get. I think I should get like 6th place or 7th place. Not for the memes, like actually. Place. But there are some people playing who have like 2.5 points and 2 points, and if they won, they could potentially beat me. So I could go down to like 5th place or something. So we'll have to watch all of the games to end in order to see what place I get. But you know, I think that's fine. I'm gonna go and take a quick break. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Stay tuned and we'll see what place I get. All right, I am back, and I just want to say that this was one of the longest tournaments that I've ever played in SMC Corp, because usually these tournaments end around 145, 150 on the max side, like 2.5 or something was like the max. Today it's 2:15, and there's still three ongoing games. So I don't know why it's taking so long today, but it looks like the games are just really long. Um, okay, what is this? We have two 1700s playing, and none of them have resigned yet. Like, usually when you're more, usually when you're more higher rated, you resign more often. Like when you're losing. So now we only have two ongoing games. I have been pushed down to fifth place because Gold Serval won, and now he has 3.5. But yeah, if only like one of these games was the 1700, that I'm pretty happy about. But 1500, if I had not drawn and I actually won, then I would have probably gotten third place. Probably like second or third, I would say. But I should have gotten 2.5 because this was a stalemate, and I got really lucky. So I should be happy about that. Jake, Vibe said I joined the tournament. Did he? Late for the first round, I didn't play any of them. That doesn't really count as joining the tournament. 22nd out of 23. Yeah. Who was last place? Oh, this person lost the first two rounds and then didn't play. So since Vibe joined late, he still gets half a point for that. So technically, he beat the person. This game is just about over. Drew is up a bishop and three pawns, soon to be four pawns, and is about to promote. So I don't know why they're not resigning, but yeah, what's happening in the other game? Oh wow, the other game is still on move 26. They're still in the middle game, not in like the end game or anything like that. And one person has 4 minutes and the other person has 5 minutes. So this this game could literally go until 10 minutes later, which would be 2:28. So we could have the official longest tournament ever in SMC chess history, which would be epic. Yeah, so Elon has 4.5 points. I mean, what happens in this game won't really matter for the scoreboard because both of the people who are playing only have 1 point. So, wait, this is the person I played in the first round, right? Yeah. So, this won't actually affect the scoreboard. They'll just go like somewhere here, whoever wins. So it looks like I'm gonna get fifth place. Okay, great. And considering that I lost the last game, fifth place is actually pretty good. But if I had drawn, then Elon would have been 4, which means he's still first. But I would have had 3.5, which means I would be either third, probably third, because my tiebreak is higher than gold servals. We'll see what's happening here. Oh, Scotch game. Nice. What? Oh, it's not a fork. Because the queen, the. Yeah. Why are they typing like. What is this? They're typing one word per. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Not in the game. I mean the chat. They're just trading. They're spending a lot of time. Lucky that this bishop was not lost. And the bishop got trapped. Oh, he lost a knight. And then this game is going crazy. Like absolutely crazy. I have a Weitschiff. Okay. You can't sack the rook, right? Yeah, that doesn't actually do anything. And you can't take with the bishop to try and win a pawn because the bishop is pinned. So all of a sudden, Naisha SMC might actually be winning though. Ever since this mega blunder happened. Yeah, after this, the knight could move with the discovered attack, so you had to stop that. Which means you lost the knight, which means you're losing. But this game should be over pretty soon. I think the other game ended. Yeah, the other one ended. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. I mean, I already know that I'm gonna get 5th place, so I could just stop right now, but it feels like I should wait until the tournament is over. It's probably only like 2 or 3 minutes from now anyways. So, why not end it when it should be ended? Down on the clock though. She only has 1 minute 25 seconds and is not super high rated considering that a lot of people here are like 1200, 1300. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. She does get a 4-kins. Now she's officially going to be up a rook after the queen moves. And oh, you can't even take back because it's pinned. So she's going to be up a rook and a knight or something. Whoa. What is going on? This game is crazy. Okay, after a king moves like... Wait, the queen was just taking the entire time? Oh yeah, because then knight takes, you take, and then the pawn takes and you lose the exchange. Wowie. This is literally the longest tournament I've ever played. Like, I think the longest before was like 205, 206, something like that. Now it's 223, and it's still not over. So if you guys are still watching this, then thank you so much because you don't know how much this means to me. What's going on here? I don't know what's going on in the chat. If you guys want to read it, then feel free, but I'm not going to read every message out loud because there's no point. You can actually take this pawn. It's defended. This guy does have more time, but he's also in an insanely tough position. The queen is hanging, the rook is hanging, and if the queen ever moves, then this rook will be hanging. So like 3 pieces are hanging at the same time. So, yeah, I don't know how well this game is gonna end for white. Even though this is actually pretty interesting because you're down material. From white's perspective, of course, you're down material, but you're losing. You're down material, but you're winning on time. So it's actually super interesting. Oh, Alpasum says, Rohan, I'm still watching. I'm gonna say thank you so much. Okay. Loser possum. Alright. Okay. Okay. Stop giving Elon ideas. Oh yeah, good idea. Oh man. Okay. Well, now you probably shouldn't trade the rooks. No, 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 no. Oh wait, it was pin. Never mind. Sorry, didn't see the pin. I was gonna say you shouldn't trade the rooks so that you can have, because you're down material, so you shouldn't. But it doesn't look like it's gonna matter anyway, because black has 9 seconds. And even if she pre-moves every single move, she can't really last that long. Like, how long can you last? The pre-move is like 0.5 seconds or something. So you can last like 6 moves. 1 second! Oh, and with that, white does win this game. Alright, view tournament. We do, in fact, get 5th place. And I'd say that's pretty good considering I drew a 1700 and this game doesn't really count, but I drew a 1500. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching the first live stream of the channel. Please let me know in the chat and in the comments. And if you weren't able to watch the entire live stream, no problem. You can always go back and watch it like as if it was basically just the same as a video. So yeah, thank you guys so much for attending. I really enjoyed this. Please let me know if you did as well. And yeah, that's it for today's live stream. And I will see you guys in the next one. And I'll let you know on my post page when the next live stream will be.